See some of the mentoring from, veterans to some rookies. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the rookies latch on to some. I think that's a two-way street. But all in all, it's a big passing emphasis as we go today, but we'll work some situations, and we're ready to get rocking. So with all that said, glad to open up to you guys to hit some questions as we're getting started.
Hey, Dan, in terms of, obviously we kind of get the gist of OTAs, but for the team as a whole, what's your kind of goal when you get through these 3 weeks for what you want to see, what kind of progress?
Yeah, and I think number one, big playbook, obviously, to put in, and then little bits of it as you're going. And so, did some at veteran camp, did some with the rookies, and so this is an extension of that. In addition to, I don't think it's ever too early, Ben, to start on some situations. Here's a 2-minute at the half. Here's all the ones that come up. So we'll do that as often as we can. By nature, the OTA is more of a passing camp, and that's where the emphasis will be. And then in training camp, there'll be some shifting on that. But I'm looking for efficiency, I'm looking for speed, and really just the detail that's going into the calls.
And just specifically at wide receiver, I think we kind of have a sense of what Terry McLaurin is, but with the younger guys like Jahan and Diami, now Luke joining in, how do you kind of see that group, and what did you, with the two guys who were holdovers, what did you see from them last year?
Yeah, what's fun about this is we want to get as many reps as we can, so you may even see it 7-on-7 today. We'll have 2 fields going at the same time. And the purpose behind that in a 7-on-7 setting is to get more reps for everyone. And the more you see, the more that you go. And I think as you're installing a new system, that's an important piece of this, just time on task and reps of it. So, but you're right, guys like Terry, who you've seen, and the work ethic, what it is. So these are some cool moments to see what people can do, and then it's our job to find what special traits do they have, and then see how we can feature them.
And then you brought up some of the veterans and being the rookies. When you have guys like Ertz and Eckler and all that, what do you hope that they start to impart to the young guys starting now?
Yeah, I think first off is these are the standards, that we want to, practice with. And so that was a discussion that they had all together beginning yesterday, and some things, this is how we do business here. But if you don't have to look too far to watch their practice habits, how they do things, follow a process or a routine, that's what I'm looking for from those guys. They have to get themselves ready, but by just doing what they do, that also, can be a multiplier.
And how about now from Jaden being with the vets and coming off the rookie minicamp?
Yeah, I think number one, you can see how hard he worked to get the system down and in place, and so that was evident through the camp. And so I'm excited for everybody else to see that, to see the work ethic that goes into something like this, because once you see the quarterback play in the position and the plays, see that kind of detail that he put in a short amount of time, I think it'll be pretty obvious for the guys watching.
You've been through this before. When rookies now go with the vets, what do you see from the rookies? Is it a wide-eyed look? What goes on?
Yeah, because I think we've all heard the term be a pro. Well, they don't even know that yet, and so that's our job to help educate them on all the small details that it goes. I think at the end, man, what are you looking for? Competing, of really playing fast. And so I was clear to them to say, you're not sure if you're not going fast. Are you slow or you don't know? And I said, that's okay. I'd rather you go full speed to make some mistakes. And we had a good visit yesterday with some of the rookies. Questions help, and I showed him an old clip of Brett Favre, and he was talking to a group, and Holmgren was up there, and he was talking about nickel defense. They went to dime, and he was asking Todd Detmer, what's nickel? And Todd was like, you don't know? And he's like, no. He's like, that's just to take a linebacker off to put another DB in. He goes, that's it? And so as simple as it is, when you're coming from somewhere new as a rookie, my push for them was ask the questions. We got a whole army of people here to help them and get there. And so over these weeks ahead, this is their developmental time, and we're not going to miss a step of it.
And for you personally, this is you're back as the HC. These months, these weeks, how has it affected the way you do your job? I mean, how much are you enjoying this process again?
I'm having a blast, and that's why days like today, a first of bringing everybody together, I have real appreciation for it. And it doesn't take long to be around some of the people here to say, man, I'm proud as hell to be their coach just by what I've seen so far. And so that's what I'm looking forward to as we're getting started today.
What's the process of installing the offense, and how much can you accomplish, each day?
I think it's a more of a passing emphasis. So what we do is we do some runs and some blitzes, at a jog-through pace, so we can get as much of that as we can, knowing that a lot of the out, on the field portion is going to be pass emphasis. So we kind of split it into 2 ways, and then systematically put it all the way through 9 OTAs, through 3 practice at minicamp. So we just want to make sure we're hitting the right amount at the right time, but a lot of situations to cover so far.
And how does that work with Jaden in terms of, he said, does he say, I'm ready for this, or this is too much, or how do you kind of go about figuring out what he's comfortable with and at what pace?
Can you repeat the last piece of it?
Yeah, how do you figure out, how to get him where you guys need him to go?
Right on. Well, I think reps. That's where the main thing is. How do we have reps for this? And so if we know that we need extra reps, that's what we do. And so that's part of why we have 2 spot drills where we get extra people to do that.
What intrigued you about Frankie Luvo when you signed him, and how do you kind of see him fitting into the defense?
The question was regarding Frankie, and I thought first things first, I saw, man, like really aggressive play. This was a fantastic blitzer and hitter, and we really wanted to make sure like our identity was a real part of that. And so Frankie represented that. We saw it on the tape. We saw how physical he was, the tackling, the blitzing, and so it was very clear to say how he would fit into what we do.
Dan, these OTAs are voluntary for the veterans, but basically everybody's here. What does that show you about the buy-in and the commitment already from the vets?
Yeah, I think it shows how important it is. They know they're starting, a new program together, new offense, new defense, new special teams, and so no one wants to be behind, and have anything that would, leave them any space as we're competing going forward. So I'm not surprised knowing this group as I do, their connection, their chemistry together. That's a big part of it too.
Certainly for the players, it's an adjustment to get used to you, to get used to the coaching staff, but it's also an adjustment for the coaching staff to get used to the players. How's that all meshing?
I think the term you'll hear me say is they're trying to learn the learners. And so what way does this person learn compared to what place this person does? And not everybody does it in the same space. Not everybody does it in the same exact way. So there's some fantastic teachers that are over here on the grass. Who needs more walkthrough? Who needs more video? Who needs more one-on-one? When you're learning that, now you can customize it, and that's what we're going to do.
Dan, over the weekend, you wore a T-shirt to your availability that garnered some attention. I wonder if you could walk through what that was.
Sure, no sweat at all. And I think one of the parts of me, taking this job, I was excited to bridge, the past and the present, and what a cool, privilege that is to do. And I also recognized there's a lot of layers to that. So it was a great lesson for me. And what I really hate is that any attention that would have been taken away from these rookies and like this awesome crew. So, no one wants to do that, but great lesson.
Any feedback with the shirt from, I heard a lot of former players really liked that you wore the shirt. Did you get any feedback from folks?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the heads up. That's why I hate it on this way. I wish we could be on this side of me because then I don't want to not talk to you. So, yeah, we can do this better.